Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unfiltered Sports. Today is Tuesday, right? And Tuesdays we usually talk about taking it or leave it, but today we're going to talk a little bit about keeping that same energy as well. We haven't talked about keeping that same energy in about 2 weeks now, and I want to kind of just get back into that routine a little bit. We're going to be switching things up a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of that stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see what we get out of it. I am really excited to get back to a normal routine. On Unfiltered Sports, I don't care about your feelings. If your feelings get hurt, so be it. Right here on Unfiltered Sports, we don't have no biased opinions. We speak none but the truth and only the truth. We give straight facts, and it's no PR stunts or none of that stuff. So again, welcome to Unfiltered Sports. I'm Shaq Mack. I'm your host, also the owner of the Delaware Dogs. Thank you to everybody that tuned into the chat. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the love and the support. Yes, Bradley, I do remember you. I hope baseball season is going well for you. I hope that everything is definitely on the up for you, and I hope school is definitely going good for you as well. Um, but today I want to kind of talk a little bit about front offices, front offices for your sports teams, right? Um, Before I get into front offices, I want to hit on March Madness, because March Madness has been on point. Like on point. I've seen Florida get upset. I've seen Villanova take a loss in the first round. Tennessee upset someone as well. It's just really, really interesting with March Madness, right? And I thought I was pretty decent with March Madness and calling March Madness or whatnot, but obviously not that good. In the league that I'm in with my alma mater, I'm probably like ranked right now like 30th out of I don't know how many people that actually signed up. I'm actually 26, and it's very interesting because I picked Duke. I think everybody did. I picked hold on. Sorry, I picked Duke. I picked Kansas. They lost to St. John's. I picked Michigan State. I picked UConn. I picked Florida, but Iowa upset Florida. I picked Nebraska. I picked VCU. I picked Houston. Picked Arizona. I picked Arkansas. Um, I had Gonzaga. Texas upset at Gonzaga. That was crazy too. Purdue, Michigan, Alabama. I had Virginia. They lost to Tennessee, and then Iowa State. Um, Obviously, the biggest bust of this first round was BY or not BYU. Yeah, BYU losing to Texas. That was a big bust, and then High Point beating Wisconsin. Um, Then it was hold on, VCU beating North Carolina. I think that was crazy as well. So obviously, like March Madness is crazy. If you haven't watched the women's March Madness bracket, I think you should start checking out the women's March Madness tournament as well, because that has just been really awesome. I've watched Louisville game, and they won by what, a point. And their women's team is crazy good, like crazy good. So huge shout out to what's her name, Dawn Staley. She's been doing her thing over there in South California, and they've been putting in some work with the team, and they've been making some adjustments, and I hope that she make it back to the big game, and they can hopefully win. But again, they got to get through UConn, and they got to make sure that everything works for them. Um, yeah, I play first, third, right field, and pitcher. That's great. That's great. Keep at it. Keep working hard. Keep doing what you need to do, but also make sure you get your rest. Make sure you get your homework and stuff done. That's important. First and foremost is that homework. But back to the front office stuff, and chime in on your thoughts with people in front office management or whatever you want to call it, right? Front office for a sports team and what that looks like. But I've had some different experiences with people in front office. I've had some experiences where it went good. I've had experiences where it went bad. And one of the things that I look at when we look at a front office is it starts with have a good night. It starts with your owner, right? Your owner needs to know just about every position in the organization. Need to know what they do, how they function, what they need to operate, the whole nine. So then under your owner, you need to have a good second in command. In case you're not around, then that second in command can take charge. Right? If you're the sole owner, obviously like your president of operations is that second in command, is like, listen, we need, this is the vision, the big picture. This is everything we need to do to ensure that this organization is going to run promptly, smoothly, however you want to call it, right? Obviously, you're going to have a head person of media to make sure like social media is taken care of, to make sure that marketing and all of that stuff is taken care of, uh the whole shebang with promoting and marketing and all of that stuff. Obviously with the marketing aspect, you got to look for sponsors and people that want to donate money to your organization to help you become successful, right? And then you kind of take it from there. And I'm going to pause here for a little bit and just bring out a point, right? Where we have so many corporate offices, or not even corporate offices, but corporate jobs in corporate America, where teams are out there asking for sponsorships and they just say no right away. But they say no because what's the business plan? Like, what is your business plan? What is your marketing plan? Right? If I'm going to sponsor you, I want to know, what are you anticipating to spend this money on? I want to know how many fans are going to come into your games that you anticipate to come. Because if I'm going to sponsor you, I want my logo somewhere in the game book. I want my logo somewhere in that the venue. I want my logo on advertisement, for social media posts or whatever, because I want people to see my logo, my name, my brand. And so if I get someone from corporate America to sponsor my team, the Delaware Dogs, right? I want to make sure I have these things aligned and in place. From there, I want to make sure that every post that I post has sponsors on it. And then you go from there. Huge shout out to a VIP guest that's in the chat here. Shout out to Burlington Thoroughbreds. This is our rival from the American Basketball Association, now a part of the PBL. And this summer is going to be an epic showdown. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and check them out on Instagram. We just set up a date for a community basketball game to show some love and support to that community out in Burlington, and hopefully we get one out in Delaware as well. But New Jersey's going to love this matchup. It's going to be exciting, energizing, electrifying, and it's going to be a great basketball game as well. On top of that, all right, it pays to give back to the community. And if you haven't seen our other posts with Burlington, we're actually doing a huge community service event coming up on Earth Day. And the point that she brings up here, that Rashawn is bringing up here, is that once you show value, the money will come, and that is a great point. You have to pretty much get your face out there. You have to let people know who you are as well, and that means, again, getting out there in the community, getting out there to do something for the youth or whatever it may be. But when people see that you're out there in the community and doing something, and then you go out there and say, hey, like, we need support, we're giving back to the community, I got you. I see what you do. I know how you roll, and then it kind of just falls a line, and that's where networking comes in place as well, right? Growing up, I've always seen people smarter than me out there that go to work, go to school, and do what they got to do, and they become successful because of their education. And education actually meant something. Nowadays, and I'm not sure, and I can be oblivious to this as well, but nowadays it's not about what you know, but who you know. And if you network properly, if you're out there in the community properly, you getting your face out there, you putting your brand out there, it means a lot to the community. And to that point, there is I was helping out with the Delaware Knights basketball team. They're a youth basketball team, and I was helping out at their tryouts. And I'm up and down the court yelling at the kids and just going up with the flow and teaching them basketball. And after like a timeout was called and we're getting water or whatever, one of the parents came up to me and goes, "Who's the Dover Dogs?" At the time we were named Dover Dogs, we're now Delaware Dogs. But it I explained to the parent, I'm like, hey, we're a semi-pro basketball team based out of Dover, Delaware. We have a lot going for us. And it's like, well, we live down that way. Have you heard of this gym called Built Elite Sports? I was like, yo, that is a small world because we actually practiced over there a couple times and played a few games there. And she was like, I never knew that. And it was because all this time, my mindset as the owner was I need to find this. I need to do this. I need to do that. Meanwhile, I was the owner, the GM, the head coach, the scoreboard, all of that stuff. And it kind of went from there. So it was just really crazy to kind of go from there and see where we're at now. To answer your question, I don't personally live in Dover or Delaware, but we ran our first inaugural season we ran out of Dover. We were at Built Elite Sports, but then we used Wesley College as our second venue, and that's how we ended the season over at Wesley College. And then this season we played 3 games at Wesley College, and then we played the other 8 games at Newcastle Elementary, and so majority of our games were out of Newcastle Elementary. We are working on a bigger venue right now to find a high school or college that can fit about 1,500 plus fans in the venue or whatnot. Um, we have a youth team that is in the works. We have tryouts April 25th and 26th for our youth team. We ages 13 through 17. And so if anybody's in that age between 13 to 17, we have the tryouts. If you go to our Instagram, dogs underscore basketball underscore, that'll kind of have the information and the link to try out for the youth team. The coach is excited and looking forward to putting his team together and kind of taking it from there. And so it's going to be amazing. I'm excited for it, and I'm really happy for this opportunity here as well. We also have a ladies team, and so dogs basketball as an organization, because that's what we are. We're an organization. We have men's basketball, which is the Delaware Dogs. We have the women's basketball, which is the Lady Dogs, and then we have the AAU, which is the Junior Dogs. And so it's amazing to see what we're putting together. And I'm hoping that we can find a decent women's league to put our ladies in, that they can get a lot of competition out of it. But that's still in the works. It's going to take time. I'm not expecting to go to sleep and wake up and everything's already figured out for us, because being a business owner, being a front office staff, we have to come together and we have to move as an organization. That's what we have to do. So it's amazing. I'm excited for everything. I'm excited to kind of go from there and kind of just go from there. Um, Elaborate on your question a little bit more. How do you get involved? Like, if you wanted a team, like, do you want a team for AAU? Like, just elaborate a little bit more, because I know there's some semi-pro teams in Philadelphia, but like I said, majority of our games this season coming up are being Wilmington, Delaware, so it'll be not that far drive for some people that live in Philly, but front office, outside of executive pres or that president of operations, um, then we can kind of go from there. If you want just look us up on Instagram, and we can kind of take the conversation from there. And I'll see how I can best answer some of your questions as far as trying to get an AAU team or a semi-pro team. I'll be quite honest with everybody. If you're not financially stable, not saying that this is the case here, but if you're not financially stable, meaning you can't cover your team costs, you can't cover the cost of reserve the market, you can't cover referee costs, you can't market, you can't do nothing like that. This is probably not the business or the industry for you to be in, because honestly speaking, minimum, you're probably going to look to um, spend about $30,000 roughly to own a semi pro team. And that's just semi pro. And that's just getting by bare minimum with transportation and food and home venue costs, referee costs, the whole shebang. Like it's a lot that goes into owning a sports industry. Mind you, I got the men's team, the women's team, and this junior team. Now, the junior dogs is under a 501c3 nonprofit, and then everything else falls under the LLC for the organization. But like I said, I'm excited to be able to embark on this journey. For those that don't know a little bit about me, I got my undergrad from Lancaster Bible College in sport management. I'm currently in my last course for my master's degree, which is just my internship. Once I get through my internship of 400 hours, then I'll be able to graduate from Liberty University with my master's in sport management. And then the plan is to get my PhD in sport management as well, hopefully from Troy University. Um, in that time that I have to wait to get accepted into Troy, I'm going to be going down to probably I'm gonna probably stay at Liberty and get another master's degree. It'll take me another year to do so, but I'll get that master's degree in exercise science and wellness, and kind of learn a little bit about the strength and conditioning and different things like that to help with the sports teams, because in the works, the Delaware Liberty, mark my words, Delaware Liberty Soccer, men's and women's, it's going to be amazing, and I'm excited for that as well. But again, it takes a team. You got your owner, like I said, you got your president of operations, you got the head of media, marketing, sponsorships, whatever you want to call that person. Then you got to have your security team. You you're gonna have that guy that's like Big Don for the Eagles, who has to have your back 24/7. Your get back coach, whoever you want to call. You need security. That security is going to help make sure that your team is okay, the opposing team is okay, make sure that the venue is safe and secure, and that nobody's trying to come into the building and cause any harm or trouble. From there, right? You got your little odds and end things, like you got a coach who just watches film all day and breaks stuff down and then gives his notes to the coaching staff to have practice or whatever it may be. There's a lot of that stuff happening there. But again, you have to know what it takes to run an organization and be a part of it. One of the things that I told the head coach that we just brought on is that in order for me to run a successful organization, I need to be able to know every single position. Communication needs to be overly communicated, meaning if I come to you and I say, hey, I got this game coming up for us at this day, this time, and I need the players to know. That means I'm communicating to you. Now, if a day two goes past, I'm gonna reach back out. Hey, did you get the message? This is the game information the players need to know. Then, if they still don't get that information, then I'm gonna take it upon myself to do the same thing. Huge thank you to that right there, because I forgot about that too. But you do got to pay for insurance, right? Insurance, you can't forget about the insurance. I am fortunate enough to have people that actually cared, like Burlington, because um, my first year was last year in the American Basketball Association, and the one thing that I was told that I needed to make sure I had was insurance. And I'm glad I listened, because the whole season I went with no injuries, nothing. I was good. I'm like, man, I just spent $200 on insurance for the team, and I didn't even need it. That is a waste of money. The last game of the season before we went into playoffs, I had a one of my bigs. He got elbowed in the mouth. took his tooth out and everything. I believe it happened, and he needed stitches on his lip or something like that, and he needed to go to the emergency room. He got to the emergency room. They gave him the bill and everything, and I was like, "Send me the bill and information. I'm gonna send it up to the insurance through the basketball team. They're gonna cover everything for you." He did that. It took a little bit of trial and error because this is the first time I worked with this organization. So I didn't know anything about what they did or how they ran anything. And so the agents helped us out a lot. And we finally got the bill paid for and covered. But it was nice to know that people cared to say, hey, I'm going to show you the ropes. I'm going to teach you what you need to know. Right. Because running an organization is not for the weak or the faint hearted at all. If promotion is your skill, right? I would say intern with a team that that way you can kind of get your foot in the door, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to rush something. And what I mean by rush something is that if you say you want a semi-pro basketball team or you want an AAU basketball team, and then all you're doing is sitting here putting a team together, but y'all haven't practiced yet, y'all haven't run no plays, y'all don't even know how to function as a team. So show your interest, build your team. Better yet, build your team first. Hey, I need two centers. I need two power forwards. I need two small forwards. I need two shooting guards, two point guards. That's 10 players right there. That's perfect. That's really all you need. And then you go from there and say, all right, listen, we're going to go play this team over here. We're going to have our own uniforms. We're going to be listed as an independent basketball team for right now. Boom. You play the games. You adjust. Your coach adjusts. Boom. You play your games and you build a season based off of what do you call it? Based off of just exhibition games. You don't have a playoffs. You don't have none of that stuff. That way you kind of know, hey, I'm gonna put 10 home games on the schedule for us, 10 away games. And you just play different teams in the local area. That way you're not traveling super far or whatever. But build an audience, right? Because if you start playing these exhibition games as an independent team, you build your audience. You kind of go not go with the flow. You don't fake it till you make it, but you actually go out and you actually make a name for yourself and for your team. Once you do that, and then you make this announcement, and it shocks the whole world on social media, and it's like a smack in the face to these independent teams. It's like, boom, we just joined this league. We joined the American Basketball Association. We joined the Pro Basketball League. We did that, right? And when we do that, the fans are going to follow. So now if you got a venue that you played as an independent team for a year, that's 20 games or so, and then you get a venue that can fit 1,500 fans. Just think how if you get your players to market your team for you for being an American Basketball Association, if you say, all right, I got 15 players on my team, if each player promotes this, and let's say we get 20 people from 20 fans from each player, right? You do that math real fast, right? So and I'm not really quick with the math, really, I ain't gonna lie. So if you got 20 times that by 15, that's 300 people right there. But then you only told 20 people, that's 300. But then those 20 people are going to tell 20 people, and then those are going to tell, that's quickly going to fill your gym up, right? The other thing is that you can't be cheap when it comes to marketing. I'm guilty of this. I'll be honest, but you can't be cheap when it comes to marketing, right? Because you may get life be life, and let's just put it like that. Life will be life, and you get busy and you forget that you need to promote your game or whatever. What's the first thing you want to do? Because technology has advanced so much, you're going to jump on chat gpt and you're going to get AI, and then you're going to kind of go from there. And it's going to be like everything looks the same. You don't want that when you're running a professional team. You want to kind of start to switch things up and make each thing look a lot different. And so that's what happens is you got to at least be able to spend a little bit of money, if you don't know how already, to make flyers, to promote your business, promote your brand, and get your name out there. Doing what Burlington and the Delaware Dogs are doing, which is putting together community events and working together, right? Because yeah, we're competitors on the court, but guess what? We're constantly talking to say, hey, what are you doing up there? Can we come help you guys out? And then they're calling us, hey, what are you doing down there? How can we help you out? Right? Because when you become owners, you become like a family. And that's what it's supposed to feel like, a family. Now, don't get me wrong and don't twist my words, but not everybody that comes into your circle is not meant to know your next move. Some people will move shady, and that's okay, but keep those shady people out the way. That rhymed too well. I like that, man. I'm good at what I do. It's crazy. But again, you can't tell everybody what your next move is, what your next step is, right? Because if you do so, they're gonna be those haters. Man, that ain't worth it. Get them out your corner. Get them out there. You gotta do this, whatever, right? It's crazy. Um, One of the biggest things is you can't be afraid to fail either, because I don't look at it as I failed. Like if I lost a game, I'll be honest. Our very first game in the American Basketball Association, we played the Jersey Express in Philadelphia, and we lost by 60 points. I was so embarrassed that I didn't even want the clock to stop. I wanted to keep going so we can get out of there. Afterwards, the owner came up to me and said, "Welcome to the American Basketball Association. Now you see how we play." And that first game, it was a smack in the face to me, because I was like, man, I feel like we're ready, we're prepared. But it showed that we knew nothing about what we were getting into at all. And so this year, it worked out a lot better because we had some like-minded individuals on the team. We had a coaching staff that actually knew what they were doing, and it was exciting to be able to at least win a division championship out of this season. Unfortunately, we got knocked out in the Sweet 16, and it happens. But that just gives us some unfinished business that we got to take care of. And the comment from Rashana, it says it perfect. Don't be scared to collab. Winners win, period. They only compete at the bottom, right? And that's a fact. One of the biggest things I can say about Burlington is that when we play in the ABA, if something happens in her schedule, the first person, maybe not the first person, but one of the first people she'll call over to Delaware, and she'll talk to me and like, hey, do you got any availability for this game here? You got any availability for this game here? We need to fill a game or two. All right, let me check my schedule. Clear. We got it cleared. We good to play. Let's play. So if I can help you out, let me help you out, and vice versa. Then we played each other about 3 times this season. It would have been like 5 times if it wasn't for weather. And that's just because we just both needed to fill games. And it was like, hey, if I can fill this game, can you fill this game? Hey, this team just dropped out on us. Can you fill that game for us? Or do you know a team that can fill that, right? Because again, Rashana knows people that I don't know, and I know people that she don't know. But it's all about that networking, right? Because again, when we collab the way that we're collabing and we're working together as a team, it's more than what we're doing on a basketball court. Just think about what you got to do outside the basketball court, the chemistry you got to build up, right? Because when and this just may be my opinion here, but when you go watch pro basketball teams in the NBA or even the NFL, right? You don't see the owners by themselves off doing whatever, right? Sometimes you see the owners in the same box talking with each other. They're networking and helping each other out to what? To build revenue, to build their assets, to do something that's going to help their organization grow, right? Because guess what? The only way I'm successful is if the person next to me is successful. If my team is successful and I'm doing something good, what do I need to do? I need to teach someone else the same thing that I'm doing and say, hey, this is what's working in my market. This is what's working for me. This is how I'm going to be successful. And so, I've always had that mindset and that motto that I need to learn the position of someone 2 ranks higher than me. Meaning, if I got a GM, that GM should be trying to know what I do as an owner, or what the executive vice president does or executive president does. So that way, they can try to fill that shoe one day. I always try to teach even some of my soldiers, don't get complacent with where you're at. Don't be comfortable with where you're at. Always go and try to be better. Always try to go and be better, right? And it's interesting because one of the biggest things that we lacked this year because of how we performed in our first year was sponsors. And who was the first person I got to network with was Burlington Thoroughbreds and say, hey, I see you got almost 15, 20 sponsors on every single post that you put out there on social media. What are you doing? Like, how can I get that same, kind of love over here? And it's not to say that I don't know what I'm doing, but it's because I want to know what she's doing that's right. That way I can learn, and then I can, duplicate that and see what's going to work in my market, in my area, right? Because again, something that I'm doing in Delaware may not work in Jersey. Something that she's doing in Jersey may not work in Pennsylvania. Something that's working in Pennsylvania may not work in Virginia. And it just, you got to fill your market. You got to know the people in your market as well, right? Um, One of the biggest things that I've learned too as an owner is that if you can't conversate with other owners, why do you actually own a team? Because the biggest thing you need to be an owner is communication. And if you make a promise, I don't care what position you hold in an organization, if you make a promise, you better hold that promise and stay true to that promise. Because if you tell me that you're going to practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but then you only practice on Monday, guess what? I'm calling you. Yo, you didn't practice on Wednesday. What happened? You ain't practice Friday. What happened? Oh, I had this come up, or we had that come up. Well, I didn't know about it, but we paid you. So what's going on? Like, there's a lot that you got to do. And this sports business, this sports industry is not for the faint or the weak-hearted at all. You got to be able to handle people throwing jabs and shade at you 24/7. I have it happen all the time. I'm sure Burlington has it happen all the time as well. But guess what? You got to be consistent with what you're doing. Consistency helps you win games. Your defense will help you win your championships. Your offense will help you win games as well. And your offense will help you bring in fans. Your defense will help you bring in fans. Again, when corporate America starts seeing you winning and posting you in the community and you doing this and you doing that, guess what? Corporate America wants to buy into what you got going on. And when corporate America starts sending their money to you, guess what? You start using their money and not your own money. OG is on here, right? And it's just like when I first met OG, he's like, I'm gonna tell you something that I don't usually tell people. He goes, but I got this channel that you can stream your games on, and we got this many fans, and this is what we're gonna be doing. Every time we had a game that didn't conflict with none of the schedules that he had going on, he aired our game on the OG network as we were streaming live from our own channel as well. And it helped us get our name out there a lot. We now got, support in Ohio. We got support in California. We got support in the Carolinas. We got support in Florida. We got support in Georgia. Like, we got support all over now because of what OG has done to help us stream our games and even Unfiltered Sports on the OG network. And it's been amazing. And I am beyond blessed to have these opportunities here. And one of the things that we're trying to do as well is sell merchandise and different things like that. And so as we sell our merchandise, we'll be selling our merchandise and putting it out there. Jerseys, we make our jerseys and sell them. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got sweaters and everything. And it's amazing, right? Because you got that support. And it's funny that this person just commented in the chat because I like to throw him under the bus every single time we have Unfiltered Sports. But Ben doesn't know me at all. But Ben's always on Unfiltered Sports in the comments. He's always on a dog's basketball game in the comments. And Ben is always sending a comment in the chat. It may be something about LeBron because LeBron is trash or whatever it may be. It may be something about Steph Curry. It may be something about Miami Dolphins and how they got rid of Tua. It may be something about the Pittsburgh Pirates. But he's giving feedback into the channel he's supporting. support always doesn't have to be about money. You got support, again, sharing a social media post, on liking social media, subscribing to social media, whatever it may be. That's support. Support is free. The only thing that I ask for my followers and everybody that watches that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you like our Facebook, you like our Instagram page, you like our TikTok as well, and that's it. That's free. But that helps me continue to stream our games and do the things that we're doing for free. But we'll get to a point where, if we can't keep up with the way the algorithm and times are going, we probably will have to start charging $5 for an online ticket. That's okay. But I want to be able to keep the streams free so you can watch it. It is, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to do what's best for everybody out there and help keep the cost low. If you come in person, $10 for adults, $5 for kids. That's cheap for a pro basketball game. Cheap. You guys spend more money going to watch the Philadelphia 76ers, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Heat, Golden State Warriors, whoever you watch in person. You spend more money on a nosebleed ticket than you do when you come to the Dogs basketball game. And you can get a courtside ticket for $10. Now that's cheap. But again, like, just think about it. The players are into the game. The players love it. They interact with the fans. They bring in the fans, and they show the support. And I want to shout out two players real fast before we call it a night. Uh, Kai Roberts, co-captain of the Dogs basketball team, ABA All Second Team, will be playing in the All-Star game in Atlanta, Georgia, April 10th through 12th. His co-captain, Kenny Wilson, will be joining him, all ABA honorable mention, in the All-Star game. And that's the first time we had anybody mentioned and nominated to play in the All-Star game. Not only to mention that, though, is they got 2 players that will be joining them to play in a 3 versus 3 cash prize tournament as well, right? And that fourth player, you say it's 4 players, but that 4th player is just a substitute in case someone gets hurt or whatnot. But then all 4 of those players will be playing in the 3-point shootout and in the dunk contest. And I just think it's amazing that we're progressing, we're growing, we're learning stuff, right? But again, when they get on the court, all you hear is talk, 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 talk. They talking. Defense, you hear them on defense, they're talking or whatnot. When it comes to offense, they're passing the ball and they're playing selfless basketball. They're passing the ball. They're talking to their teammates, getting them set up for the perfect shot. And they're being recognized for that. And it's not just them. It was hard to see that only 2 of our players got nominated, but they got nominated for our second year. And it is what it is. But, can't complain about any of that stuff at all. And I'm just like, gotta be better than that. So I'm really excited to see where this next journey it takes us and where we're going to go from there. So, Ben, we appreciate that comment. The team's better than the Sixers. We'll see what happens. VJ Escombe's been on fire. He's carrying the team as best as he can, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we got to handle business. So like I said, I'm excited. I'm really happy, and we're just gonna keep pushing forward. And I really do appreciate the support from everybody. It means a lot. Like, it means a lot. And so, if you haven't already, buy some merchandise. If you haven't already, go subscribe, go like, do what you got to do. But again, I really appreciate all the support from everybody. And then with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give everybody their time back, their night. I appreciate you guys for liking, subscribing, and tuning in. So with that being said, have a great night, and you guys stay classy.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.